Have you ever asked yourself, how did God's men and women get that type of courage? How did they have otherworldly boldness? It's because they came to places like this. Places where they got alone with God, where the rivers ran, where the rocks were strong, where the mountains were towering and tall, where the sun was rising. Do you know what dispels fear? The presence of Jesus. In Psalm 27, David said, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" It was no coincidence that John the Baptist was a man of the wilderness. He wasn't a man of the city. He was often alone and away with God. Before God uses His people, He always calls them to Himself. David was prepared on a shepherd's field. He was the least of his family. He was out tending the sheep. Where do you think he learned to play his instrument? Where he learned to write his music? Where he learned to kill the lion and the bear where nobody else saw? Before Goliath came David learning about who his God was for him. God was raising him up to be a king, but he had to learn privately before he was ever used publicly. Don't think that your boldness and courage is going to be simply because you muster it up before people. It's going to come because you're by yourself with the living God, where God has made all the things that you see, and He comes and fills you from heaven, and He teaches you who He really is. The Lord is your light, and He's your salvation. Of whom shall you fear? The Lord is the stronghold of your life. Of whom shall you be afraid? Even when the enemies and the adversaries rise up to meet you. Verse 2 says, they shall stumble and fall. When God enters you in private, He prepares to use you in public. But don't expect to be used in public before you meet first with Him in private. Get beside the quiet waters. Go see God make a sun come up over the hilltop. Go watch what God does in nature, and you will know that the God of the Bible is the only one to be trusted. And when you put your hope in Him, you will never be put to shame.